China, for a very long time, has seen Myanmar and stability in Myanmar mainly through the lens of the situation along the border. The Chinese Communist Party gives a very high priority to border security and border stability, and it's been very concerned to prevent fighting along the border that could impact Chinese territory and anything which could create refugee flows into China. We saw there was a very strong reaction from Beijing to the Kokang crisis, for example, a number of years ago. But this current intervention from China is something a little bit different, I think. In the past, we've seen China on many occasions use its leverage over the regime or the government in the past in Naypyidaw and the ethnic armed groups along the border. China plays both sides. It tries to be a big brother to everyone. And as a big brother, that means it can be helpful at times, but it can also insist on certain things. So we've seen many times in the past, China has used its leverage, its authority, to bring the parties together and push for a ceasefire. This has happened often in Kunming, but also on Myanmar territory at different times. And sometimes, although China presents this as it's being a good faith mediator, we know from the parties that sometimes China has used quite a lot of pressure to push for ceasefire deals. But normally, that's all China has been interested in: stopping the fighting, signing a piece of paper, announcing that a deal has been done, and then leaving the situation. And then if there is a problem later, China will come back to it and will try to push for another ceasefire. We've seen this since Operation 1027, right? There's been a number of meetings with the MNDAA and other armed groups in the north. Ceasefires have been agreed, announced, and then they have failed, right? This time, China is doing something a bit more interventionist. Right? Not only did it push the parties to agree, it followed through to make sure that this would not just be on paper. We saw a very large delegation of Chinese observers going into Lashio, right? Maybe, I don't know, 100 or so Chinese observers led by a very senior person, Chinese Special Envoy Deng. So this is something different. This is going into the territory. This is observing the follow-up. This is ensuring that there is compliance.